My name is Eva. The story is about 5 years old when I just moved to a new town for a job opportunity, and I was looking for a cheap apartment to rent. I found one online that seemed perfect, spacious, furnished and affordable. The landlord said it was available immediately and I did not have to sign a lease. He just asked me to pay the rent every month in cash. I thought I had hit the jackpot. I moved in the next day and everything seemed fine at first. The apartment was clean and cozy, and the neighbors were friendly. I unpacked my belongings and settled in. I was excited to start my new life. The first night, however, I had trouble sleeping. I heard strange noise coming from the walls, like scratching, tapping, and whispering. I tried to ignore them, thinking it was just the pipe or the wind. But they got louder and louder until I could not take it anymore. I got up to turn on the lights, hoping to scare away what was making the noises, but as soon as I did, the noises stopped. I looked around. I did not see anything out of the ordinary. I shrugged it off and went back to bed. The next night, same thing happened. The noises started as soon I turned off the lights, and they stopped as soon I turned them on. I was getting annoyed and scared. I wonder if someone was playing a prank on me. I decided to call the landlord and asked him about it. He answered the phone and sounded surprised to hear from me. I told him about the noises and asked him if he knew what was causing them. He paused for a moment and said in a low voice, "Oh, you heard them too?" I felt a chill run down my spine, and I asked, "What do you mean?" He sighed and said, "Look, I'm sorry I did not tell you this before, but the apartment has a history. A few years ago, a young woman lived there, and she was murdered by her boyfriend. He stabbed her to death in the bedroom, and then killed himself. The police said it was a crime of passion, but some people said it was something else, something evil." I gasped and felt my heart pounding. "Are you serious?" he asked. He said, "Yes, I am afraid so, and ever since then, the apartment has been haunted by their spirits. They make noises at night trying to communicate with the living. Or maybe they are trying to warn them, I don't know. I have tried to get rid of them, but nothing works, it seems." I was speechless. I could not believe what I was hearing. I felt I was in a nightmare. I asked him, "Why didn't you tell me this before? Why did you let me move in?" He said, "I'm sorry, I really am, but I needed the money, and you seemed like a nice person. I thought they might have gone or will never bother you, or maybe you could handle it." I hung up the phone and threw it across the room. I was furious and terrified. I wanted to get out of there as soon as I could. I grabbed my suitcase and ran to the door. But as soon as I touched the knob, the noises started again. Only this time they were louder and angrier than ever. I heard screaming, crying, and laughing. I heard words I could not understand, but I knew it was curses and threats. I heard the sound of metal scraping against metal, and I realized it was the sound of a knife. I was so afraid. I knew I had to escape. I pushed the door open and ran down the stairs. I didn't care if anyone saw me or heard me. I just wanted to get away from them. I reached the street and hailed a cab. I told the driver to take me to the nearest motel. I didn't look back. I spent the night in a shabby room, trembling and crying. I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing their voices in my head. I wondered if they would follow me, or if they would stay in the apartment. I wondered if they would ever find peace, or they would hurt the place forever. The next morning, I called the landlord and demanded a refund. I told him I was leaving and never coming back. He sounded scared and guilty. He said he was sorry, and that he would send me the money. He asked me not to tell anyone about what happened. I hung up the phone and packed my things. I checked out of the motel and took a bus to the airport. I decided to go back to my hometown and look for another job. I decided to forget about the apartment and the ghosts. I decided to start over. But I never did.